Alright guys, so today we're going to be playing Beast Druid. It's a brand new deck. Well, actually it's a deck that's existed for a long time, but I feel with One Night in Karazhan's new release, we finally have enough cards to do it, and both Sottle and Kolento agree with me. So first off, let's take a look at Kolento's deck, because it's pretty different from what I'm going to be playing today, and it's kind of another form of Druid. So, again, the basic concept of Beast Druid is that you have lots of Beast synergy cards, which primarily the biggest one is Mark of Yasharj. Yasharj? Never sure if I'm pronouncing it right. But giving 2/2 and drawing a card for 2 mana is so good. It's absurdly good, and it's the foundation of the deck. Now there's also other good Druid cards that are beasts, like Savage Combatant and Mounted Raptor, that add a little bit of flavor, and the new released Enchanted Raven, also a really solid beast card. Druid of the Claw has been around for a long time and is really good. And there's another synergy card that Kolento chooses not to run. We'll take a look at that in another variation of the deck in just a moment. But again, the basic concept is you flood out a lot of early game stuff with your mana curve topping off somewhere around 5. Other variants can go up to 6 and 1 7-drop, but you're either an aggressive or realistically more of a mid-range deck. You have Innervate in here because Innervate's still incredibly good. You're able to pump out the Savage Combatants, the Violet Teachers, or in this case, the Fendril, because Fendril allows you to do some crazy stuff with Living Roots and Wrath and Druid of the Claw. It's just a really strong deck that, yeah, you push out a lot of bodies early on, you just kind of beat your opponent down. Now, I looked at Kolento's Beast list, and I wasn't too taken with it, honestly. This isn't exactly how I would build a deck. Sottle, on the other hand, me and him seem to think pretty damn similarly, and he's a pro player, so he made a better deck than me, and I'll talk about how I ended up stealing this and what I did that was different, and then how I realized this deck's better. Because when I made a deck just from scratch, it was actually pretty close to this, but I didn't have the Curator, I didn't have Sir Finley, and I had dropped the 2 Savage Roars for having the Druid of the Flame instead. Now, after thinking it over and playing the deck a little bit, I realized the Curator gives you some much needed draw. And Azure Drake is a card that it's kind of a Druid staple. Even though it's a neutral card, you almost always will see Azure Drake in any Druid deck. It's just really good. It synergizes with a lot of the Druid's cards, because Druid cards generally are deal damage and do something else. So dealing extra damage and doing this other thing, like drawing a card or dealing damage across the board, is really powerful. So that spell damage is really nice. Druid has almost no natural draw within their deck, except for Nourish, which is overcosted, and now Mark, but that makes Azure Drake pretty much an auto-include, so you already have 2 of the archetypes, and once I saw this version of Sottle's deck, I realized that Sir Finley makes a lot of sense, because you really don't want the Druid hero power here. You're not looking to gain health, you're pretty aggressive, or you're going to be trying to stay alive against aggressive decks. The middle ground Druid hero power just isn't as good as, say, if you're against aggression, you'd rather have the Priest hero power. And if you're against control, you'd rather have the Hunter hero power, or the Warlock hero power, or the Paladin hero power. Just overall, the Druid hero power kinda sucks. So Sir Finley makes a lot of sense to throw in. And that makes Curator give you 3 draws, which is insane because you also have a pretty strong body, and who doesn't like trying out new cards? So honestly, I just stole Sottle's deck. My deck is the same as Sottle's, because Sottle, totally agree with them. Sometimes I tweak things around, but especially with me being so new, just an awesome deck. Now, the one other new card I'd like to talk about before we dive into the games is Menagerie Warden, which is a card that Kolento chose not to run because Kolento's deck is a little bit more aggressive. Doesn't even run the Savage Roars in Kolento's because Kolento assumes you'll be dead before he's worried about that. But Menagerie Warden is really strong and also brings a lot of credence to running Stranglethorn Tiger, because you throw out the 5/5 stealth, that lasts for a turn on turn 5. On turn 6, you get another 5/5 stealth. And that's crazy. That is so good. 10/10 worth of stats on turn 6. What? And also, I don't think Fendril's that good. I don't think Wrath is that good in this deck either. So I really strongly agree with this. I've been having a lot of success with Sottle's deck. I think I've lost like 3 games. 2 of them to Druids that were just running random stuff and like got me with like Malagos, Moonfire. We don't even need to watch that game. It was dumb. But yeah, it's really strong. Beast Druid is definitely going to be in the rotation, and man, is it a lot of fun. It curves out so much better than the average Druid deck because you have so many like, look at that curve. That is a beautiful curve with 0 drops, 5 1-drops, 5 2-drops, 4 3-drops, 5 4s. Like, it's just a perfect curve. And the innervates allow you to curve out a little bit more in the coin. You fit in the 1 Violet Teacher so you can still combo off your spells like we're used to. The Savage Roars will have enough of a board to go off on so you actually can use them as a win condition more often than not. It's crazy. It is a crazy good deck. And I'm astounded with it. Like, if you're getting One Night in Karazhan, this may be the best deck to come out of it. We'll see, though. I mean, next week I'm going to try some stuff with Barnes. But, yeah, man, really fun, really good. Let's dive into some of the games and take a look at how it runs. Alright, so we're up against a Shaman. Ah, perfect. We got a number 1 card off the bat. 1, 2, and we'll toss those, looking for a 3, 4, so we can just curve out nicely. Nah, not quite what we want, but alright, it's not awful, and we've got 2 turns to draw into what we need.
The light protects me.
Okay, that's fine. Just throw out the 2, 2. It's going to be some sort of aggressive Shaman because he's playing an Argent Squire, and you only run Argent Squire if you're a highly aggressive deck. There's... yeah. Ooh. Ooh. So next turn we can potentially throw out a Wanderer. I don't think that'll be a good play. We could also swipe here, which doesn't actually quite clear the board. I think we'll just play on curve. Hit that there. We do have the swipe potentially with the coin next turn, which could clear the board if he does the trade. We would want it to be a little sweeter than getting a 2-for-1, because it's really a 2-for-2 if he does that trade. So hopefully he'll throw something out that we can kill with swipe. I mean, we would get the 4 damage to face in that scenario. Guy's got a lot to consider, so who knows? Who knows what he's going to throw out. So far, though, not too bad a curve, honestly. I'm still pretty new to piloting this deck, so I'm going to try not to make any mistakes. Excellent. I love it. I love it. I am in love with that play out of him. We're just gonna boop, clear his board. There we go, and he's overloaded, and we have a 3-2 on the board. Life is good. Life is quite good. We'll throw out the Savage Combatant next turn in all likelihood. Yeah, don't get the 1-1. Oh, he's gonna Rock Biter me. Eh. That's okay, honestly, him using a Rock Biter like that. He might have another Rock Biter, so he can do that trade, and that's why I didn't want him to get the 1-1. If he gets the 0-2, this card's pretty entirely safe. Oh, right. That's a card that I'm still forgetting about. Okay. I think we're gonna go for the tempo. Well, let's see, what do we draw? Oh, swipe. Okay. Let's clear that away. This Innervate, I think, can be better used in future turns. Because I could have used the Innervate to play both of the Raptors, or to throw out the 5/5, but there's so much potential value in this card, and if I have to, I can Mounted Raptor and Warden in 2 turns. Oh, that's not helpful for me at all. It's kind of the worst one. This Innervate swipe is kind of tempting. So I get 4 into his face, and I clear 2 things, and break the Divine Shield, as well as getting 2 1/1s on the field and a 3/5. He's down to 2 cards. That would leave me with 3 cards. I think that's a solid play. I'm not running Savage Roar, that's my choice, but I think most players would assume that I am running Savage Roar. So they'll have to kind of frantically clear. Do have a Power of the Power of the Wild that'll proc Runic Egg, so that may be useful. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. That is a good time to draw that card. That's not too great a draw. Clear away his totem. And we have the health advantage right now, and we're both playing relatively aggressive decks. He's playing some sort of mid-range deck, I guess. Or just a poorly... See, I feel his deck isn't very well refined, because he has the 6/5, but also running the Argent Squire. Seems peculiar to me. Alright. It's not great. Not by any stretch, but it'll do. And he's in a position where he kind of has to keep trying to clear my board. He could hit me in the face, but that would just be wrong. So I'm 5 off lethal, but maybe he should hit me in the face. Maybe that's the correct play for him, actually. Hit me for 13. This drops me to 13, but I can heal 1. Or do you take the half measure and clear the 5/5? Much to consider for him. He doesn't have much time left in his turn. What is he holding in his hand, I wonder? Hex. Okay, so he's used both of them. It's 13 on board. Almost misplayed. Okay. still in a position where he has to clear me, and he's top decking. Ooh, Doomhammer is a pretty good top deck, though. Oof, choosing to take a lot of damage here. Ooh, buddy. Oh. Oh. Buddy, buddy, buddy. Hey, innervate's crap when you draw it now. Just go ahead. Alright, he's at 8 health. I have 20 health, so now that he doesn't have a field and he's already used most of his big threats, need something good. That is a good one. That is definitely a good one. Three off lethal. Power would do it. Charger would do it. So, 2 cards that would do it. Oh, 3. Forgot about that guy. And that guy. Lots of cards that do it. See, still unfamiliar with running this deck. Pretty strong, though. Pretty strong. Doing this shit. Yeah, we're up against a mage. That's a bad hand. Quite the bad hand. It's something. No, I want to toss it. Alright. Turn 1, turn 2. Probably, maybe something better will come along here. Alright, turn 1. Play this guy on turn 2, probably. It's a pretty sick 2-drop. Yeah, man. There we go. Trade this to protect that. If I drew a 1-drop next turn, that'd be stupendous. Oh. That's pretty stupendous. It's pretty damn good. I don't have a play next turn. That sucks. So hopefully I'll draw into something. Oh, fudge. Guess it's better to have Finley out here. Steady shot. We're gonna be the aggressor. This guy's playing a control deck. Okay.
Let the pain speak to me.
Okay. Throw up the taunter. We'll hold on to Innervate. May have uses in the future here. Especially since we'll be drawing a card next turn. Okay, this guy's drawing like crazy. Blizzard. Throw out the Stranglethorn. Shoot. I think it's going to be important we start using this hero power. So he likely has Flame Strike. That's why I play the 5/5. Yeah. Charger, eh?
The menagerie is for guests only.
Okay. And we'll innervate to get the extra shot. Throw out the Enchanted Raven, why not? Threat and lethal. He's gonna have to shoot that. It'll be tough for him to get rid of the 4/6, I think. Oh. It's a pretty good clear. Burning through his deck like crazy, though.
Another night on the prowl. Join the pack.
Innervating again to get that extra shot. Got him down to 3. It's a pretty awkward position for him to be in. He's going to clear the 2/2/1s for sure. That's okay. Probably clear the whole board. That's okay. A little bit of a lag spike. Oh, come on. Reconnecting. Okay. So ideally I would like to pop his block right here. So let's see if we can draw something. That'll pop the block right here. Okay, one popped. I'm gonna need to flame strike this board, in all likelihood. Oh, throwing out Yogg. That's ballsy. Oh, you jerk. Don't heal yourself. Okay, healed something useless. That's good. Hit yourself. Okay. Looks like we win. Probably. Yeah, no matter what, because even if that's Noble Sack, still do that, then win. Huh. Pretty aggressive deck when you're up against that. Oh, looks like I'll have to restart Hearthstone to continue here. Ooh. Alright, we're playing a Hunter, so this is gonna be a little bit spooky. Super spooky, I'd say. Super spooky. Well, yep, we tossed everything. I wasn't even really debating, I was just kind of thinking to myself about what kind of matchups we might expect here. Wow, that sucks. Bleh. Maybe draw a 3-drop on turn 1. 3/2. Oh, okay. That's better. Get some saplings out here. What do you got? You got a fiery bat for me? Throw a fiery bat at me, why don't you? Huh? 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 Hmm? Huh? Hmm? Ooh. I'll throw that down. I'll trade that away. There we go. I'm pretty happy about that. Innervate's always better the earlier you can use it in a game. That's just the truth of any kind of ramp in pretty well any card game I'm aware of. Well, any card game I'm aware of. Hey. It's just kind of the nature that it becomes worse and worse the longer the game goes on. We'll use the one drop in the hero power so we can get maximum value. He's running Elic. Doesn't mean anything. Even Face Hunter. Well, no, Face doesn't run it, so I guess it's mid-range. Most hunters are mid-range nowadays. It could be some sort of wacky Yogg Saron. Tripping on my words here. All right. I think I would rather buff this one. Hero power. And we want to clear this because Ram Wrangler, Unleash, or Master of Hounds, lots of cards buff beasts for Hunter, and they're all quite strong. And that could easily turn the game around on us. And each time we use an Inspire effect, we get more and more value. Bo? Oh. You killed my dude. My duder. I'm upset about that. On the upside, he's like practically dead. I'll throw out the 5/5. He's dead next turn pretty well. And we just rolled this guy over. And that's Druid in a nutshell, honestly. We just get an amazing curve, and you're like, what are you going to do to this? What do you got, man? Unless you have the hard answers to deal with these kinds of threats, I'm just going to roll you over on turn 6. Yeah, like, that's just not good enough. That's lethal with nothing in hand. And I have stuff in hand. Didn't throw out the well played there. He tried. He did. Alright, Druid versus Druid. So far, I have not been doing well in this matchup, but my opponent's decks are a mite unpredictable. I play a turn 1 Savage Combatant. That's pretty awesome. Might have been good to toss the Enchanted Raven. Tough call. Tough call. Pass the turn. Pass it. Pass it. Pass it. Do it. Throw it away. Give it back to me. Throw the turn. Yeah. Alright. Oh, and we curve out after this, too. Oh, this is nasty. Nasty stuff. No, it's good to have the Raven, because if on turn 3 I want a hero power again... Yeah, I'm going to hero power here to clear this, because that's insane. Oh, I'll just kill your card with my hero power. And next turn, I may very well want to play the Raven and hero power. That is the ultimate turn 1 opening, by the way. Although, I think that's better. This card's already gotten rid of 2 cards. He'll either have to take another 5 damage. Oh, he has a swipe. Alright. That's okay.
Another night on the prowl. Another night on the prowl.
Throw out the 2/3/2s.
I bleed for the third.
Entirely self-bored. Mwahahaha.
The ancient one calls.
Okay.
Where shall I strike?
Tonto Pronto. Finley. Yeah. Rather have the 2/2. Do I want... Yeah, I'll run one of the 3/2s in, because I intend to do it anyway, and that just feels like the right play. I don't know, like, on 7 mana, maybe Innervate, Azure Drake, Swipe would be a punish here. Like, it would be a sick punish here. Well, he doesn't have exactly that. Okay.
Are you my master?
And we get to refill our hand, which is why the Curator is in this deck.
The menagerie is for guests only.
Excuse me. He's used both swipes, so we don't need to be afraid of that anymore. Ugh. Bit of a cold flu thing. Just makes me all sneezy and bleh. Sneezy and bleh. Exact definition. Okay. Hero power the other guy, and you got a clear board. Oh, he's got another Wrath. How about that? That was Finley. Alright. Gives us an extra target for Power of the Wild. Power of the Wild. I keep forgetting this card's name. This is the card every time I've stumbled that I was talking about. It's Power of the Wild. Ugh. Hey. Hey. 6, 8, 9. 9's not quite good enough. Not quite. Although, that and that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Ooh. 11. Still a little short.
Join the pack.
Really don't think he's gonna be able to burst me here. Or clear my board. I should just win next turn. Cthulhu. That's the thing that could screw this all up for me. Even with Cthulhu, actually. Unless he has like a super lucky Cthulhu.
A symphony of terror begins.
Yeah, we're cool. It's all good. It's all good. Well played. Oh, yeah, I can actually get the well played out. No, my mouse is all glitchy. No. No. Well, he didn't well play me either. Cthulhu Druid, still not that good in my opinion. Although, like, the most insane opening out of me. So really, what was he gonna do? Alright, so I just tried out another brand new deck after the One Night in Karazhan card pack, and it's Beast Druid, an archetype that's been around for almost 2 years now, going back 3 sets all the way to the second set of Hearthstone.
Okay.
And now it's a deck. It is officially an actual deck because we got just enough support to do it, and it's brutal. It is great. It curves out. See, the problem Druids always had, way back to the beta, is they don't curve out. And curving out is play something on 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, you want to play something on every turn. Use all your mana, all your resources. But this deck just works. It just, every game I played, maybe I was just getting really lucky, but I played like 15 games. You just curve out. There was one game where I didn't, but even then, with all of the ramp you have and all of the extra options, it's just a really strong deck, and the archetype's really functional. It answers the problem of draw that Druids always had. I'm astounded. I am just straight up astounded.
Now, aside from really relating to, oh my god, I can finally build a deck out of it, because I grew with Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's no alien start here. No, it's, oh, there's a card in this pack. I need it. I need that single card. It'll be a deck someday. It was never so rewarding, I assure you. But what's the function? If you could just say it in a quick layman's way.
Well, you have a lot of cards that buff beasts now, and with the previous set, Whispers of the Old God, we got 2... Actually, Whispers of the Old God gave us 1 card that's a solid beast, and the set before that gave us another good card, the 5/4 give you a +2 Inspire card that no one ever fucking used. But you have those 2, and then we finally got this 1-drop and another card that doubles a beast. So you just have about 6 different cards that all have a lot of synergy together. It was weird before because you would have beast cards that were really strong buffs for beasts, but there was no actual beast for you to put in the deck. And now we have the beast to put in the deck with these synergy cards, so now these cards that everyone knew were really good can be used. Because having a good card that only works with bad cards is still a bad card. And yeah, you just buff your stuff and you build up a really strong board really quickly and you just beat your opponent to death. It's a mid-range deck. You can play it really aggressive.
Green. Sounds really green.
Oh yeah, easy to play. It's a beat 'em down deck. There's no combos really. You don't need to plan too much ahead. There's a little bit of consideration in how you use your mana ramp that Druid has, because sometimes you'll want to use it earlier than others. Sometimes you want to hold on to it for a little bit. But yeah, it's just really strong, and it's pretty simple, and yeah.
So I got 2 things. First, just another quick anecdotal on picking cards. As of September 2016 that we're recording this, to any of you guys who play Force of Will, spirit cards, right? It's kind of the same thing for Wanderer format. Why would I care about summoning 3 spirits if there's only like 5 of them? Just a quick digression, but it really reminds me of that. And the other thing is a question I have for you on the spot, because we like to talk about thinking ahead. Of course, Hearthstone developers think multiple sets ahead. We don't even know how much they're drafting right now. Why do you think they chose to trickle in this archetype?
Well, they might have been worried about it being too strong, because another important thing to keep in mind is Druid got hit really hard by the nerf hammer. About, what would that be, about 5 months ago, I think? Because when Whispers of the Old God launched, they took out the signature kill or win condition of Druid. They just took it out of the game. So Druid no longer had their win condition. It was called Force of Nature Savage Roar. Sure, a lot of you guys remember that with contempt. There's a reason they took it out. It was pretty annoying to play against, because if you were at half health, you could just die at any time. If your opponent had a board, they could kind of just kill you at any time if they had these 2 cards in their hand.
Okay.
So I think if that had still been around and you had the strong archetype of beasts, Druid would have been overpowered. But now that Druid doesn't have that anymore, and they also took a couple other hits with Keeper of the Grove getting nerfed. So now they need more. They need something to grip onto. And I think this is Blizzard trying to give those Druid players out there the tools they need to make strong decks again, to be competitive. Because they dropped out of the tournament scene right after those nerfs.
Ooh.
And yeah, I think this will bring them back into the fold.
It's a weird concept, and we're not going to get too far into it, but nerfing something is strangely better than having it be overpowered for now. Again, Force of Will players with Reflect Refrain will remember that. Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sorry, but for all the ban you have, there's a lot of BS you don't have to deal with.
Yeah, Change of Heart.
Oh my god! How does that make sense for cost? What does it go? Anyway, so I really think if you had multiple overpowered decks, especially in one area, I'm looking at you, Kagero clan out of Vanguard. It breeds a lot of contempt. Oh boy, and a lot of people to ditch a game rather than the challenge of you're nerfed, but you still like the motif, you still like the style, and you can still win. How was your win rate with the deck before we wrap this up?
At least 90%. I didn't keep exact count, but I think I lost 2 games to a Druids, and I might have lost a game to a Warlock out of the 15 I played, so...
You think that's a lack of meta-awareness on the part of the other players, or...?
Potentially, and sometimes just, I drew the nuts, you know? Deal with this!
Top deck city!
Really strong deck, and I don't know, it might be meta awareness. The meta's really in flux right now because it's right after the release of One Night in Karazhan, so everybody's trying out new stuff. Nothing's refined. I ended up, I made a deck to play this on my own, and then I went to do research on other decks and just realized the deck I made was almost identical to Sottle's. The differences were better, so I just ended up using Sottle's deck because, yeah, it was just better. It was 3 cards different, and the 3 cards he chose to use over me were the better choices. But that's kind of the nature right now. I don't think anyone has set solid decks. This new expansion's really thrown everything up in the air. So,
questions for the millions at home?
Well, what do you guys think? I showed you 2 different decks here. I showed you Sottles and Kalentos, both of whom are pro players for Hearthstone. Kalentos was a little more aggressive. I really shied away from that. He tries to fit in Fendril, which I don't think has a place in this deck. I guess to boil it down to a nice, quick little question, what would you do for this Beast deck? How would you run it? Would you run it aggressive? Would you run it mid-range? Would you try to split it with the Fendril double action cards? What do you feel? I like what I ran. How do you guys adjust into this? Because there's so many options right now.
Thanks for watching. If you like what we do, like this video. Simple enough. Leave that comment. We love it. And really, if you really enjoy what we do and want to see other more ambitious projects out of us, support us on Patreon.
Yeah. See you guys.